we are upset. This is not only an unhealthy way to come to God, it's also downright sinful. It's essentially saying that, well, you know, when we get upset, we say life is not fair. Has anyone ever heard that? Life's not fair? Guess what? Life isn't fair. And it's a beautiful thing. Because if life was fair, you know what? We would all deserve heaven. Plain and simple. We would all deserve to deal with the brokenness of our humanity. But life isn't fair, so God came and gave us grace. The beauty of grace is it makes life not fair. And it's a blessing to us. But when we come to God with an attitude of expectation, all we see is the things that we want to get, or the things that we don't understand, and we don't understand how it all fits together. Then you have expectancy. Expectancy is when we come to God, we expect Him to move and act. But guess what? We are open to what that looks like. We are open to the different ways that may manifest itself. We aren't saying, God, you have to work it this way, but we truly are saying, God, have your way in our life. Have your way in this city. Have your way in this church. Have your way in this nation. That's what expectancy is. It's the attitude of a disciple of Jesus when we say, we will obey. That we say, your will be done, not our will. And we actually mean it, which is hard. Which there's a lot of times when that happens and we don't always understand what's going on. I can tell you that. You know, I have not always understood the path that God has for me. Let me tell you, a couple of years ago, I never would have thought I would be teaching. Okay? Never. Both my parents were teachers. I said, I don't want any of that. But that was God's path for me. That was the place God has put me. Wonderful. I never would have thought that. And if I would have come into it with an attitude of expectation, I wouldn't have ever seen that. I wouldn't have ever seen in the fact that that's what God had for me. And I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of the things I've been able to do the last couple of years. Went to the Dominican Republic and got to serve God there because instead of coming to God with an attitude of expectation, I embraced expectancy. That we are willing to be obedient to His call. That we are open to what His working would be. And we're seeking His will. And we accept the answer He gives us to prayer. Even if sometimes God might say no. We accept that because we know He is working. And because of that, we're delighted at His working. We praise Him when His power is shown. Not just when it's shown in a way that we think is great, that helps our lives, but anywhere His power is shown, anywhere He is working, we praise Him because of that. Yeah. So, this passage, in Isaiah 58, is in the last part of the book of Isaiah. And it is written to a time of turmoil. It is written to a time in which there were a lot of unknowns. It was a time where there was a lot of uncertainty, but there was also a lot of opportunity. Compared to other times in biblical history, we actually don't know near as much about this time period in Jerusalem, in Judea, as we do as really any other time period in the Bible. It is a time where there weren't a lot of records, you know, and I say this, saying I've spent a lot of time looking at this. Actually, Isaiah 58, this passage, I did my seminar paper in one of my graduate classes for my MA. And so, I spent a whole semester living, breathing, and eating this time period, and there isn't a whole lot compared to everything else we know about different time periods of the Bible that we have. It's kind of frustrating at times, but we do know some things. I mean, there are a lot of things I could bore you with, like the intricacies of the Babylonian politics and the Persian Empire and the impact it had on the rest of the world and all that stuff. And I could bore you on that. I have a whole 32-page paper that if you're into that sort of thing, you could read all about. But what we do know about Jerusalem is we do know that this is a time when the first captives who had been taken into exile came back. And And when they came back, they had expected a lot of things. They'd been taken out of Israel before really the destruction of Israel, the raising of the temple, the destruction of the walls had been completed. So maybe they hadn't seen the full picture of what had happened to Jerusalem. And they had expected that, well, when we go back to Jerusalem, it's going to be a paradise. It's going to be perfect. Everything that was taken away from us, it will instantly be given back to us. You know, they had made up all these ideas and promises in their head that this is going to be what happens. You know, they had all these dreams. Some of them very misled, but they were there nonetheless. And so they were brought back to Jerusalem. And their expectation was dashed. I don't know if you guys have ever had a time in your life that you expected something to be a certain way and it let you down. You expected someone to come through. You expected, I don't know, maybe the state of way things are as a nation. Let's talk about that. To change. It did instantly. If people promise you, oh, we're going to do this, this is going to happen. It didn't happen. Let me tell you, if you put your hope in politicians or in the government, you will be disappointed 100% of the time. And these people, everything's going to be good. What they came back to is they came back to a time when it was dog eat dog. You know, you struggled to survive. People had problems finding food to eat. You had all of these people who came back in this first wave of returnees from the exile, and they were expecting, well, we'll be able to move back into our homes and we'll be able to have our lands again. But then there were the people that were still there. There were people that had been left behind. There were people that were people of the land that were not Jews that were there. You had people that the Babylonians had shipped in from other provinces, and they had tried to make a life there. And all of a sudden, things are a little crowded. Things are a little messy. And you had the people who were Jews or people of Israel before everyone was taken to Israel. They had intermarried, and now they had become what would become the Samaritans. And so you had these Jews, these people who had stayed true to the promises of God, who had stayed true to the commands of God in exile, come back, and things are messy. This was before Ezra and Nehemiah had come back. This was before the walls had been rebuilt, the temple had been rebuilt, and everything was still destroyed. The people expected a paradise. They expected everything to instantly be beautiful, because they had that expectation when they came back, when they were able to come back to Jerusalem. They saw a wasteland instead. Sometimes we come to God with expectation instead of expectancy. When God shows us His plan, all we see is desolation, because we expect something else. We feel entitled to something else. We deserve something else. So this is the situation that people of Israel who had come back into Jerusalem came into. I think sometimes this is what we come into in life if we're not careful. And instead of being thankful for God's working in our life, we look like that little child on Christmas or their birthday who didn't get that one gift that they wanted. Instead, they were inundated with all sorts of other gifts, but there's one thing that they feel is missing, that they feel they deserved and wanted, and because of that, they don't look at what was given to them. They don't look at the way that they were blessed through their birthday or Christmas. Instead, they look at what's missing. They look at what's not there and miss out on what is before them. It's what the people who have come back were like. It's, I think, what we are like sometimes. The passage begins out, cry aloud, do not hold back. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their transgressions, to the house of Jacob their sins. One of the things that is difficult about text is there are some ways that we say things. When you hear it, it means something else. And I think, one of the things I think that there are sometimes missing as we read Scripture, there are times when God says one thing literally, but He's being kind of sarcastic and trying to get people's attention to it. And let me tell you, there's nothing like, I've translated this entire chapter from the Hebrew, and there's nothing even in Hebrew that will let you know this is sarcasm. But when you read the rest of the text, it's like, okay, there is something not matching up. So God tells the people, yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways.